Divine greetings. This is Aset Hotep coming to you from the Eyebrow Holistic Center in Stafford, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. We are having our annual Kemetic Reiki Level 1 certification class coming up on August 27th. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that class. And let's start with talking about what Reiki is. And so Reiki itself is a Japanese term, and we get into the etymology of that word and we get into the logistics and everything about that in the class. But on a very practical level, Reiki is energy healing work. And so when we think about energy, we know, hopefully we know, that we are not just physical beings. We have a physical body and we also have an energy body. And so just like the physical body gets sick with disease and illness, so does the energy body. The energy body and the physical body actually feed off of one another. And so when we do energy work, we essentially also do physical work as well. And same thing, when we do physical work, it can also help the energy body, but energy healing requires a little bit more work or a different type of work than physical work, right? They both require work. And so when we think about energy, I want you to think about the vibrational frequency that we feel, but we don't necessarily see, right? You know, when we walk into a room and we say, oh, it feels so good in here. I love the energy. Or the opposite, you walk into a room and you're like, oh, what happened? You know, no one's saying anything, but the energy is there, the vibration frequency is there. And so when we have traumatic things happen to us throughout our life, we can actually trap negative energy in our energy body. And so we have 7 primary vortices that are spinning wheels of energy in our energy body. And I said primary, so that means that, yeah, there may be more, and you would learn about that in our class. So what happens is, let's just say, for example, a person is abused as a child, and they're abused, say, at the age of 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then that energy can get trapped in their first energy center, which is the root or the Sefket energy center. And that could follow them throughout their entire life. And so when we do Reiki, what we are essentially doing is looking for the root of the energetic blockages, and we want to break it up and then help the client release it. And in level 1, it's all about self-healing. So you learn how to do it on yourself, how to release those energy blockages on your own. And each energy center correlates to a 7-year stage of development, mind, body, soul. So your first energy center is from the time of conception up until the age of 7. The second energy center is from the age of 7 up until the age of 14, and so on until you get to your 7th energy center. And you can learn more about that if you take this class. This class is great for everyone, not just people who dealt with trauma. Being born into this Western paradigm, this Western culture that we have incarnated into, means that we have dealt with things, right? It means that we have a program in our unconscious mind that is probably filled with a lot of negative beliefs and ideas. And those negative beliefs and ideas also creates blockages and stagnation in our energy body. And so it's a great way to begin to identify those ideas and those beliefs that are causing our energy to be blocked and to be closed and things of that nature. And so what does it mean when our energy is blocked or if it's closed? It means that the life force energy that the creator is sending to us is not flowing freely. And just think about having a clogged drain, right? You have the faucet turned on and the water's trying to go down, but it won't go down. It's like backing up. That's a problem, right? We need to clear the drain so that the water can flow. The same thing with our energy bodies. We need to make sure that the energy body is clear so that the life force energy from the creator can flow freely, unabated through us. And when that happens, we are vibrating on a much higher frequency. When that happens, it's like walking into that room and you're like, oh, it feels so good in here, right? You feel good within yourself. And when people come in close proximity to you, they also feel good. So let's talk really quickly about this Kemetic aspect of it, right? So I love to give thanks to the Japanese because the Japanese actually preserved a much more ancient form of energy work, right? Which actually goes all the way back to Kemet. And when I say Kemet, I'm talking about ancient Egypt, but not just any era. I'm talking about when ancient Egypt was ruled by Africans, which means that they were Nubians, Black people, right? Egypt is in Africa. And so prior to it being invaded by the Hyksos and the Assyrians and the Persians and the Romans and the Greeks, and lastly, the Arabs who are still occupying Kemet, it was ruled for over 2,000 years, well over 2,000 years, by African indigenous people. And they were highly spiritually evolved people. And when you go to Kemet, you can actually see Reiki being performed on the walls. And so that's proof that the art is very ancient. And because the Kemetans or the Kamau went around the world sharing their spirituality with other ethnic groups all over the planet to raise the vibration of the planet, other cultures took it and they repackaged it and they made it, their own. And so that's what the Japanese did with Reiki. However, with Kemetic Reiki, we're going to go all the way back, right? We're going to go back to source. So we go back and we examine it to the best of our ability and we reenact it to the best of our ability. And I say that because we know that when the Greeks and the Romans inhabited Kemet, they destroyed the libraries and things of that nature. And so we are piecemealing that. And those of us who can download, we download some of it. And so we are reliving it. We are bringing it back to life. And so that's what we're doing with Kemetic Reiki. We are going back to source. And so we were tapping in to those original energies, right? And in the Japanese tradition, they say that they're tapping into the universal energy. And what's so cool about the word Reiki itself is it actually encapsulates that same life force energy that the Kemetans or the Kamau refer to as Ra, right? Another form or another word for Ra, it's a mispronunciation, is Ray. Well, some believe it's a mispronunciation. I'm just going to say Ra resonates with me, so I say Ra. But it was also referred to as Ray. And so there you have it. Reiki still encapsulates ancient Kemet. And so when you tap into the Kemetic Reiki, you are tapping into the most ancient source of this healing work. So if this resonates with you, I am going to invite you to visit us at aratrareiki.com or iofracenter.com and register for our upcoming class. We only do it once a year. It's coming up in August. We do have an early bird special that is going to end on the 27th of this month. So go ahead and register. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at the Eye of Ra Center. All of our information is on the website. See you soon.